Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
I'm Count Jackula, yeah.
And he's Count Jackula, and today we're going to talk about The Surfer.
It's about a man who wants to surf.
It is about a man who wants to surf, and that man is played by Nicolas Cage. This film is directed by Lorcan Finnegan, an Irish filmmaker, and produced by an Australian film company starring Nicolas Cage. So I don't know whether to call this an American, an Irish, or an Australian film, but it's one of those things.
It's a Nicolas Cage movie.
It is a Nicolas Cage movie.
That's what it is. It's a Nicolas Cage movie, yeah.
I do know one thing, though. It is set in Australia, and it is about a man, played by Nicolas Cage, who lived in America, but at one point was born in Australia, and he has returned back to Australia, and he has bought a home on the beach, and he desperately wants to surf on that beach with his son. But there is a gang of locals who are essentially what you would call localists. They do not like outsiders, and they do not consider him or his son part of the community, and so they have banned him from the beach. On the surface, this is a straightforward thriller about one man's feud with this surfing gang, but... and this is a very big but, about halfway through, it turns into a mindfuck where you no longer know what's even real anymore. And we'll talk about whether it continues that trend in the final act when we get to the spoilers.
That's when it enters the Nicolas Rage.
That's what it...
Rage!
The Rage Cage. I really liked this movie, but it is weird. But here's the weird part about it. For the most part, when I think back on the movie, I realize it's actually more straightforward than I remember it being.
Yeah, it's actually pretty straightforward, but the way that it's filmed, you're supposed to be losing your mind.
Yes.
As Nicolas Cage is losing his mind.
Nicolas Cage, after a certain point in this movie, the character he's playing is literally called the Surfer, so we're going to be either calling him the Surfer or Nicolas Cage. He, throughout this movie, goes on this journey of first feuding with this surfing gang, but then eventually being unsure whether he is who he thinks he is, or if there's some sort of time warp going on this beach.
Yeah, or is he just like completely fucking schizophrenic?
Yeah, at one point there is a homeless character that he interacts with. About halfway through the movie, you're not sure if that homeless person is not like an older version of him.
Yeah.
That he just talked to. And that's what I mean when I say this movie gets really weird and mindfucky. You're honestly not sure until you get to the final act what's going on. And when we get to the final act in the spoiler section, we will talk about what's going on. I will say this, the weird, messed up journey of this movie was thoroughly engaging.
Oh, yeah.
Even when I had no idea what was even happening anymore, I was thoroughly entertained by this movie. Like, the movie degrades the way his sanity degrades over the course of the film, so it like gets more frenetic and weird. Nicolas Cage's performance is also great because it starts off as the subtle Cage, and then by the end of it is over-the-top Cage.
Yeah.
It is the Cage that we know and love from his weird, crazy performances. So you get to watch Cage go the whole gamut throughout this movie.
One of the things that the movie is also about is it is about, shall we say, patriarchy?
Yes, this is 100% a movie about toxic masculinity.
Yes.
One of the reoccurring themes in this movie is that toxic masculinity, and it's kind of portrayed not only through Cage's obsession with wanting to surf on this beach no matter what. He can't just let it go. Like, his ego has been bruised. He needs to surf on this beach, which is totally just like one of those bullshit man things.
Yeah.
That like I was watching him do it and I go like, man, this is so ridiculous, but I get it.
I get it.
I get it.
I get it.
It's the principle of the thing. But there's also the gang that he is dealing with. And the leader of the gang is actually played by Julian McMahon in his final film performance before he passed away from cancer earlier this year. And he does a really great job as this like gang leader / cult leader. Because it's not just a gang, he's also like this like self-help guru guy.
Yeah. He's one of those like masculinity self-help gurus.
So like half the time he's giving these like Jordan Peterson like rants. Take what you want and you gotta like put people in their place and you gotta be a man and yada yada. Clean your room. That whole bullshit. Such a great villain in this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, one of my favorite scenes in this movie is this scene where he, like, offers him, like, the barbecue sandwiches.
Yeah.
Eating it in front of him while he's starving. And, like, Nicolas Cage can't accept the sandwich because he's too fucking prideful to eat the sandwich, even though he's fucking starving. He's not even worried that he's gonna get poisoned. He's just too prideful about it. I'm not gonna accept a sandwich from you. The people in the gang aren't like your normal, like, surfers. They're like the rich financial guys.
Yeah, they're like the rich fucks who live in the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. People that like actually like run the banks and shit in town have formed this localist gang that is built around this cult of personality that is all about preaching toxic masculinity to these people as if it is the way of life.
Yeah, there's a great scene where Nicolas Cage is confronted by this like smiling, sneering blonde woman. Oh, boys will be boys.
Yeah, boys will be boys.
And anything's better than when they hit their wives. And she's got that, like, just fake-ass smile through the whole thing.
So old.
You're just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'll fucking kill you.
But here's an important part. Like, Nicolas Cage is buying a home there, so he is a local, and he was from there at one point.
Yeah.
So they're just being dicks. And on top of that, there is a homeless character that they interact with that they also treat the same way they treat Nicolas Cage. He lives there.
Yeah.
Like, technically he doesn't own a home, right? But, like, his car's there. This is the place he knows. This is where he grew up. This is where his family is.
Yeah.
He is a local. They treat him like he's an outsider because he doesn't own a home, which just kind of tells you the kind of toxic mindset of these people. Like, you have to have a certain level of wealth, a certain level of masculinity, and that is what this whole movie is about. And I love the direction it goes with it. I heard someone refer to this movie as Midsummer for Men.
Yes.
And that's not far off.
No.
We'll talk about that in the spoiler section, but that's not far off. I'll say that. Anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, The Surfer did have a theatrical run earlier this year, but is now currently on demand. You can go and rent it from wherever you wish. Pick your poison and enjoy. I thoroughly enjoyed this weird-ass movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is one of those Nicolas Cage cult classics in years to come.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is one
as people discover it.
Yeah, it's one of the top 10.
Yeah.
It's one of the top 10 of the year.
It's great. It's freaking great. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let us move on to the spoilers so we can talk about what happens in the second half of this movie.
Nicolas Cage starts to lose his mind because the situation gets more and more and more ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, the whole town can't be against this one guy, can it?
Well, like...
And the answer is, yes, it is.
Well, yeah, that is the ultimate answer. But for a while there, you're not even sure because things start happening, like his car disappearing.
Yeah.
No one recognizing that he ever had a car. You know, his cell phone gets taken. Well, technically, he leaves it with someone, but then, like, that person never gets it back and then acts like he's never seen him before.
Yeah.
There's this question of, like, is he losing his mind? And by the point you reach, like, right before the climax of this movie, where he's basically just a homeless person living out of the car that the other homeless person lived out of.
Yeah.
So there's this question of, is he that homeless person? Is there a time thing going on where at one point he wasn't this homeless person, but now he is? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, his connection to the outside world is cut off completely, so he can't even, like, call his ex-wife to find out if she's real. And then the turn at the end of this movie is Julian McMahon reveals that actually this was all a prank.
It was all an elaborate hazing ritual.
Yeah, hazing ritual is a better word for it than prank. They needed him to prove that he was worthy to be amongst this community. So they gaslit the shit out of him, made him believe he was going crazy, and put him through all these tests. And by the end of it, he has passed these tests, at least until he has one final test.
Yeah, he has one final test.
Technically, he has two final tests because they keep adding tests. One of the final tests is to actually burn the homeless person's car that he was living out of, which actually is the homeless person.
Yeah, the homeless person is a different guy.
And once this is all revealed, he becomes a member of the gang. He can finally surf on the beach, but then he starts to learn some important pieces of information. The homeless person used to live in town. He used to have a son.
Yeah.
His son was possibly killed by this gang.
Yeah, they never quite confirmed that the gang killed him, but they get pretty close.
They basically say it without saying it, one of those things. His son's girlfriend has an affair with the gang leader guy, the Julian McMahon character. In fact, he sees, Nicolas Cage sees her walking out of his tent as if they had had sex that whole night after a whole night of partying. And she is an underage teenage high schooler, to be clear.
Yeah, and the dude is like pushing 50.
He is Julian McMahon. So, okay, we're being led by a pedophile. This pedophile potentially killed a kid. That's messed up. Also, he paid for her to have an abortion. You're impregnating underage kids. Which is a very cult leader thing to do.
Yeah.
Many cult leaders reach a point where they start to press the pedophile button.
Yeah.
It's a cult leader
really
thing to
upsetting.
do. Usually when they reach that point is also like right before the cults collapse.
Yeah.
Which is basically what happens here, because the way this movie ultimately culminates is the homeless guy strikes back.
Yep.
With a gun. Nicolas Cage and his son, who has shown up, are being held at gunpoint with the rest of the gang while the homeless man is essentially threatening them all.
Yeah.
Because they killed
his revenge.
They killed my son and they've been driving me insane. They played the same gaslighting game on me too. At this point, he has to choose between his life, the gang, and his son.
Yeah.
And ultimately, he chooses his son.
One of the things about a movie called The Surfer is that you would expect there would be a lot of surfing in this movie. There really isn't.
It's in the background.
Yeah.
You can occasionally see some of the bad guys surfing, like while he's like got binoculars watching from the top of the hill.
But that's about it.
The only real surfing scene is at the very end when he and his son get on the surfboard because, hey man, we just wanted to surf. And the guy lets them go surf while he shoots Julian McMahon in the fucking head.
Yeah. And the end of the movie is just Nicolas Cage, like, you gotta ride the wave. Credits,
Now, here's the thing. This is all pretty straightforward, honestly, when I lay it all out like that. But when you're watching the movie itself, because of the weird way, it's filmed and presented, you're left with so many, weird moments where you're like, wait, did this really happen? Or was this, how Nicolas Cage's dad died because his dad was shot on the beach, too?
Yeah.
But really what it is that it's reminding him of his dead dad.
Yeah, it's reminding him of that.
Because that's another element of the whole, masculinity aspect of this movie is that he had a dad, his dad was shot on the beach, and his lack of father figure throughout his life after that is obviously something that imprinted on him. It's also why he gets weirdly drawn to this guy even after feuding with this guy.
Yeah.
But also, the home that he bought is their old family home. Only reason why he's buying this place and trying to relive this childhood happy thing is because he's going through a divorce, wants to reclaim some point in his childhood in which things were right, and that was when his dad was alive and they were living in that house. To a certain extent, the gang denying him the beach is them denying him his manhood.
Yes.
And when he joins the gang, he gets the manhood back, but then he realizes that it's a farce.
Yeah. Yeah, ain't real. It's all bullshit.
And it's not important. What's important is his son. And while he does get to surf at the end there is this question of was the house worth it?
Yeah.
Was the surfing worth it? Was any of this worth it? The only thing that was worth it is the homeless man shooting fucking Julian McMahon in the head. Man. Because that guy was such a piece of shit. 3 kinds of Nicolas Cage movies. There's the weird freaking Nicolas Cage movie that everyone's going to be talking about when it comes out and becomes a cult classic later.
Yeah.
There's the more commercial Nicolas Cage. The Nicolas Cage that shows up in a commercial action movie like Con Air or a romantic comedy.
Yeah, like Moonstruck.
That's the commercial Nicolas Cage. And then there's the I need to pay my back taxes Nicolas Cage. This is not that movie.
No.
And this is not commercial Nicolas Cage. This is 100% weird Nicolas Cage.
This is cult Nicolas Cage.
This is cult Nicolas Cage. With that said, my fellow Gorehounds, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Well, you can find me here on YouTube where I stream every weekday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. What about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me on various social media platforms, but these days, I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. download. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, if you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag I have a car.
I have a job.
Use either of those hashtags, that way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows that you have a car and you have a job. And don't let any pedophilic surfing gangs tell you otherwise.